Tonight, when the sun goes down, you'll probably do something very simple. You'll flip a switch, and instantly, light will fill the room. You won't think much about it, because for us, this feels normal. But for almost all of human history, that switch did not exist. When the sun went down, the world became dark, not a little dark, completely dark. So dark that you might not even see your own hand in front of your face. And for hundreds of thousands of years, every one of your ancestors lived like that. No electricity, no streetlights, no phone screens, not even candles for most of human history. Just the night sky, the stars, the moon, and whatever fire they could keep alive. So the question is, what did ancient humans actually do at night? The answer is more fascinating than you might think, because night was not just the time when people slept, it was the time when humans told stories, built culture, shared fears, made plans, and experienced sleep in a way most of us have completely forgotten. But to understand any of this, we have to start with one thing: fire. Fire changed everything. Before humans controlled fire, night was dangerous. When the sun disappeared, our ancestors could not just walk around freely. They were vulnerable. Compared to many predators, human night vision is not very good. Animals like leopards, hyenas, wolves, and big cats could move much better in the dark. So before fire, the safest thing to do at night was simple: find shelter, stay still, wait for morning. But once humans learned to control fire, the night changed forever. A campfire did more than provide warmth. It created a small circle of safety. Predators were much less likely to come close to fire. So around the fire, humans had something incredibly valuable: extra time. Before fire, the useful part of the day ended at sunset. But fire gave people a few more hours to sit together, a few more hours to talk, a few more hours to think. And over thousands of generations, those extra hours may have helped to shape what made us human. During the day, life was practical. People had to hunt, gather food, make tools, watch children, find water, avoid danger. Daytime conversation was probably focused on survival. Where should we go? What animals are nearby? Which plants are ready to eat? Who needs help? But at night, around the fire, something different happened. The workday was over. The group gathered close. The flames moved in the dark. Faces appeared and disappeared in the firelight, and people began to talk in a different way. They told stories about the hunt, stories about ancestors, stories about spirits, stories about danger, stories about faraway places, stories that made people laugh, stories that taught children how to live. This may have been one of the most important parts of human history, because the campfire was not just a source of heat. It was the first theater, the first classroom, the first place where culture was passed from one generation to the next. Before books, before schools, before the internet, there was the fire. And around that fire, humans learned who they were. But night was not only about stories. There was something else happening too. Something most modern people do not realize. Ancient humans may not have slept the way we sleep today. Today, we usually think sleep should happen in one long block. You go to bed at night. You sleep for 7 or 8 hours. You wake up in the morning. That is what we call normal. But for much of human history, sleep may have looked very different. Historians studying old records found many references to something called first sleep and second sleep. People would go to bed not long after sunset. They would sleep for a few hours. Then, sometime in the middle of the night, they would wake up. Not because something was wrong, not because they had insomnia. This was normal. They might stay awake for 1 or 2 hours. Then, they would go back to sleep again, until morning. This pattern is called biphasic sleep. It means sleep happens in 2 parts. And in the past, this may have been very common. So what did people do during that quiet time between first sleep and second sleep? Many things. Some people prayed. Some people talked quietly. Some people thought about their dreams. Some couples spent time together. Some people reflected on their lives. Some simply lay still in the dark, awake but peaceful. Imagine that for a moment. No phone, no notifications, no traffic, no electric hum, Just darkness, silence, and your own thoughts. Modern life almost never gives us that kind of quiet anymore, but the human body may still remember it. In the 1990s, researchers studied what happened when people were removed from artificial light and exposed to long periods of darkness each night. After some time, their sleep naturally began to split into two parts. They slept for several hours, then woke up calmly for a while, then slept again. The interesting part is that this middle-of-the-night wakefulness was not stressful. People did not describe it as panic or frustration. They described it as peaceful, quiet, reflective, almost meditative. That means something we call insomnia today may sometimes be connected to an older sleep rhythm. Of course, not all insomnia is harmless. Many people struggle with serious sleep problems, but waking up in the middle of the night was not always seen as a disorder. For much of history, it may have been part of normal human life. So what changed? The answer is simple: light. As cities grew, people began lighting the night. Street lamps appeared, candles became more common, then came gas lamps, and eventually, electric light. When artificial light became part of daily life, humans slowly changed their relationship with the night. The night was no longer something to fear. It became something to use. People could work later, read later, travel later, socialize later. And today, we do more than light our homes. We carry light in our hands: phones, laptops, televisions, streetlights, signs, cars. Modern life keeps the night bright, but our bodies evolved in a world where sunset meant darkness. When bright light hits your eyes late at night, your brain can become confused. It may delay the release of melatonin, the hormone that helps prepare your body for sleep. That is why screens and bright lights before bed can make it harder to sleep deeply. Your body is ancient, but your environment is modern, and sometimes the two do not match. For hundreds of thousands of years, night had a rhythm. The sun went down. The fire came alive. People gathered. They talked. They sang. They told stories. They slept. They woke in the quiet darkness. They thought. Then they slept again. The night was not empty. It was full of meaning. It gave humans time to imagine, time to remember, time to connect, time to dream. Today, we have conquered the darkness. We can turn night into day with one switch, and in many ways, that is progress. Light keeps us safe. It helps us work. It helps us learn. It helps us live longer and more comfortably. But maybe we lost something too. We lost the deep darkness. We lost the stars above us. We lost the quiet hours between sleeps. We lost the campfire conversations that helped build human culture. Most of us never experience real darkness anymore. We go from sunlight to ceiling lights, from ceiling lights to phone screens, from phone screens to sleep. And if we wake up at 2 a.m., we panic. We think something is wrong, but maybe sometimes your body is not broken. Maybe it is remembering something ancient. Maybe it is remembering a time when humans woke in the middle of the night surrounded by darkness, listening to the quiet world, thinking about their dreams, their fears, their families, and the morning that would come. For most of human history, night was not just the end of the day. It was another world, a world of firelight, stories, silence, sleep, and imagination. We traded that world for a light switch, and most of us never even noticed it was gone. So the next time you wake up in the middle of the night, don't reach for your phone right away. Just lie there for a moment. Let the darkness be quiet, because maybe deep inside, your body is remembering how humans used to live, and maybe the night still has something to teach us.